Hi everyone, welcome to the energy update of March 2023. I wanted to share this beautiful part of the garden where we have a very, very ancient hawthorn tree which provides a lot of medicine, natural medicines for the heart. So we know it as the tree of the heart. And my friend Carol gifted me all of these snowdrops to form a beautiful spring blossom. And it was interesting because I was looking up the meaning of, just popped into Google the spiritual meaning of snowdrops. And it came up as, bear with me, new beginnings. So these represent new beginnings, hope, rebirth, and the ability to overcome challenges. The ability to overcome challenges. And I thought that was quite apt actually for Gaia's message about what's up and coming this month. Ta-da! Change of scene! So I was just talking to you about the changes that are coming up in March, and here's a perfect example. I often say you can't make this stuff up, okay? So when I first started these, I always said I'd just do one take, and whatever happened around us, we would take as messages from Spirit. We would just basically involve the humanness, the technical difficulties, the elements, me, and everything in the pot. So I obviously wanted to show you about and share the message about the snowdrops and the beauty of the earth. And then the camera decided the battery was no longer going to play. And then Nick changed out the second one, and that also didn't last more than a minute. And then he tried the third one. So we got the message that actually we'd come inside for the rest of the message. And I just think that in itself is absolutely fantastic, because the message from Gaia is very much all about time. She said, I'm looking down here because I made some notes from her. She said, time to flow inwards. So even as an example of that, I've had to come from outside in, physically inside. And it's also indicative of how the messages from the universe, from your life, are going to be very clear. And will you be the one that says after one battery failure, all right, we go inside? Or are you going to be a person that waits for 2, or like me, 3, and then act on it? And that's a really important, I mean, I'm laughing because it's just so obvious, but it's a really, really important theme for this month, is actually listening to the signs around you, trusting that you might not know the reason why. We've never had 3 batteries that are all supposedly charged go in such a short period of time. So, you know, we sort of look at the logic, we look at all of the usual things that you would want to check and know about. And that's indicative of this month, that things will happen, that we're on a meandering river, we're into that flow, and things will happen, and we don't know why those things are going to be happening, but we have to trust that enough is enough, that we understand that there's no need to push, pull, shove or anything else this month. It's all about relaxing into this playful flow that's appearing in all of our lives, and trusting that it is divinely guided and that there is a bigger plan and we're fitting within it, and we need to actually acknowledge that, trust it, and then take action. So here's a perfect example going on. So she says, time to flow inward. And then she said, everything that has been locked away, now wants to come out and play. Everything that's been locked away now wants to come out and play. And this is very indicative of the invitation. There's a real invitation from Gaia this month to just be playful with the meandering way that the rivers will take you of life. Just be playful with it. You know, there's a lot of seriousness and various serious things going on that we need to be serious about. And going from pillar to post and moving from outside inside can be either a big stressy thing, or it can be like, oh my God, look how clear that message is. I get a bit jiggy with it because it's like, well, you're not gonna, what are you going to create? What are you going to create when you get stressy and neggy and angry and this and that and the other about this particular invitation to go back inside, Carol? You know, it's like, what's the point? And of course we understand, don't we, that whatever frequency we are in, what we feel at the same time as thinking things, we're creators. So we're creating some of that stuff. And so therefore, I'm opening a door and a gateway to more of that stuff. I don't know about you, but I'm really bored with all of that kind of stuff now. And I'm looking for this, being a participant in the divinity of creation in our own lives. Because I've been in service of assisting people all of my life. And I love it, and I know it's my purpose to be that way, Sia, to be part of acknowledging what's within every human being, of their greatness, of their potential, and living that rather than it just be a carrot on a stick and you drive yourself nuts trying to find it. So it's like the practicalities of making that reality what floats my boat. And obviously you find that interesting too, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. But with your gorgeous, you know, treasured time. So the really interesting thing about all of this is I'm really getting a strong sense that what we have worked for a long time, and we've been chatting, you know, about leadership, taking the leadership role in your own life. We've been chatting about coming from the heart. We've been investigating our intuitive selves and listening to those voices and not knowing why, but acting on them, and then finding out there's beautiful experiences if we go along with that. So what she's saying is stuff needs completing now. So the early part of this month, stuff needs completing. She actually wrote that down. Stuff needs completing as doors are closing. Now, you've worked all of your life to shut these particular doors, so, and you've got the key, and you might want to lock it, and you might even throw that key away, although you might want to put it somewhere else. But anyway, so this is stuff that you've finished with, you know, that stuff that is like, seriously, I'm so over that. Like the choice I've just made, do we get all tut and all that avenue, or are we going down a different doorway, a different corridor that leads to a different gateway of opportunity? It's about choice. And some of you might have heard, like the great astrologers that are out there at the moment, numerologists, intuitives, and they're talking about this month being the Great Reset. So when I sat with that particular word and sat with Gaia, she quickly moved that aside from my perspective, because there's enough people out there that are giving information on that particular angle, and she wants me to share with you her love of you, her caring of you, her invitation to dance with life this month. It's pivotally important in the sense that you have the choice. So she's saying, you know, you have the choice to sort your stuff out. So, you know, before the full moon on the 7th, you can shut that door. Shut it, shut. you know, sorry, I just find this really funny. What's come to mind now is share some of my personal life. We are selling our homestead at the moment, and we are venturing into new adventures. I have no idea where we're going, what those adventures are, but I know it's right to hand this baton over. And we found some fabulous people, and as of yesterday, that's verbally been shaken hands on, if you like, and you know, we're in that particular moment in time where we'll see what comes to fruition, which is lovely. But at the same time, of course, when you're doing that, when you're sharing your life, your house, your home, a lot of things get put in cupboards. And in fact, when I've had viewers coming round and they've said, can we look in your cupboards? I said, yeah, but they do come with a warning. I've shoved everything in there that would normally be around, and it's at your own, you know, risk. I really enjoyed that. So when it says stuff needs completing, and you know, those doorways are shutting and things like that, I just got a really strong picture that these doorways were, you know, a lot of our stuff, a lot of stuff that's like, do we really need it? Why have we got it? Why does it need to be put in the cupboard and the door shut on it anyway? So there's a lot of opportunities that will be presented to you this month, that will come to you to let go, you know, continue letting go of things that you no longer need. And that's the stuff that she's talking about. You know, the door that we're shutting there is a choice. It's a real choice. Do we get all of the crap out the way, basically shove it in the cupboard and shut the door, and that's it? We're not wanting to carry that stuff around anymore, you know, not carry it around anymore. Or do we want to give it away? Do we want to share it? Things that we've no longer got any need for in this chapter of our life. So that's just kind of an example of where we're at the moment. But you know, and we are sorting out our stuff, and we are definitely clearing the clutter bit by bit by bit. But what's absolutely fascinating is she's giving you the heads up that there's a lot of doorways of opportunities that are going to definitely find you this month. And the more you can tender yourself tenderly with finishing projects off, finishing the wish list off, finishing off things. So finish them off, you know, and not to the point where you've put it away just for now, but certainly over this next 7 days, finish off those projects, finalize them in your heart, okay? Because this is about time to flow inwards. It's a time to go inside for all of the answers. We know that's where they lie. And she's asking you to really check in with your heart, check into the whispers of the soul, check into your gut feeling about things. So this is the inward pathway. It's check inside about, you know, what is it that you want? Now we're still in a really fast forward momentum time, so things are going bum 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 bum, and so in one way, with all the planets facing the right way, it's all like moving forward. We've definitely got that momentum. But alongside that, because we're so layered with these different inputs at the moment, Guy is asking you to dwell on the possibilities of each decision that you make. So just dwell in the possibilities of each decision that you make. So to dwell in the possibilities just means you need to take a breath now and again. Just take a breath, take your time, go inside. Maybe it helps just to put your hands on your heart, close your eyes and just ask, what does my higher self want me to know about this particular subject now? And listen. Listen with all of your being. Listen with who you are as your integral self to whatever rises. And pay attention to that, because it might need acting on. Does it make you feel good and calm or excited about the creations that are coming from you? Because this month is your choice month, and it's to choose many, many things. You know, I've talked a lot to you about duality and that doorway that's closing or closed for many, which is the hate and the love, you know, that sort of black and white war or not war or whatever, war and peace. Whereas the unity consciousness stuff is like, okay, we have got a direct link with many of the answers to these problems, challenges. We want solutions. So ask yourself, ask your heart, ask your own intuitive being what those solutions are to your very own view of the world, to your very own challenges. Always include now your inner self, because however calm you can come around a particular issue, however sort of creative and expansive and playful and laughter that brings to any situation, it's going to alter the outcome, and it also alters your frequency. This is a real scientific thing now. It alters your frequency, and if your frequency is of a more refined note and more harmonic with who you are, with your intrinsic self, then it brings more of the good stuff to you, and it brings more of the flow of life, all the things that you say you want. So it's not a huge ask this month. It's actually including yourself in the program of your own life as much as you possibly can. Ask yourself what the answer is. I mean, we can go to Google and we can go to our friends and other people for sure, but always ask yourself first. Take your own measure, because the more you ask, the easier it is to hear your own answers, to hear what your own intuitive higher self has to say. In fact, this is so important. I'm doing a course this Friday on exactly that, and it's 10 till 4, and it's by Zoom anywhere in the world, or it's in person here at Harmony Lodge in Mid Wales. So you can do both or either or whatever. And the first day, the Friday, is just going to be on that. It's just going to be on how to connect through your higher self, your higher celestial bodies, into that intuitive voice and listen to it and recognize it. And then the Saturday, we've invited in various beings of light. Certainly I've asked for the ones that are going to be with you for the next 3 years as a minimum, to guide you, to assist you, for you to lean into for this transitionary period where we're moving more and more into that age of Aquarius and freedom and collaboration and all of that yummy stuff. So that's going on in my life on Friday, Saturday this week. If you want to join me, that would be an absolute pleasure. Just contact me in the many ways that you can these days, and we'll have a natter. Okay, back to this month then. So, and that was interesting, isn't it, that we happen to have booked that in a while ago. There's no such thing, you know. It's not coincidence. It's all synchronistic. It's all synchronistic. We're just in the flow. So she said, just give yourself a pat on the back for everything where you've worked really hard at releasing, to allow yourself to transform and to heal from the deepest scars and traumas and suffering that you've all partaken in some way, shape or form. She said, you know, give yourself a pat on the back for how far you've come up to now. And, you know, take this opportunity. She's got like loads of beings lined up, loads of frequencies lined up for your healing this week. It's not something to put off until such and such a day. It's like, can you do it now? Do it now. It will really have an impact, because the releasing of that, the more acknowledgement of the healing that you've the accomplished to be where you are today, the the less fear there is around it. And of course, if there's less fear, there's something else that's taken its place, and that might be peace for you, it might be harmony, it might be inquiry, it might be fun, excitement, all of these qualities which are more of the life that you want to be surrounded by. Okay, so she's saying, do check in with yourself to see what part of your journey you're at. So she was giving me this picture of the river that we've used before, and she's saying, you know, there's various parts of this river where you'll want to get out and go to shore, just to contemplate options before you make decisions. Just be clear that you have the option of getting out of the river for a while, dry off a bit, build your campfire, and just to let things percolate a bit, because we've been through some serious stuff over the last 3 years. All of humanity has. And so now is our time to do a bit of the processing. We need to process some of that. And therefore, with the river sometimes feeling like rapids, we sometimes need to get out just to actually process what our decisions are, make some choices before we get back in, and enjoy that flow. So that's something to bear in mind this month. She said, you know, the seeds that you've planted during your life, they've all taken root. They're all starting to come up. So she says, just know that we need to be tender. Whatever ingredients you need to really look after these small saplings that are starting to break through the earth and show themselves now, you know, they're going to need ingredients of sunlight, of water, of some nutrients, of loving care. She's reminding you that you are, as if you are that seed. You've planted yourself. You've chosen to be here on this earth at this time. And now it's time for you to make sure in your life that you have the ingredients around you, in your environment, in your choice of jobs, in your choice of soul purpose, in friendships, in the clothes that you wear, the choices of your food, the choices of every single thing are going to assist you in growing strong, in being of courageous heart, of feeling vulnerable and allowing yourself to go into your cave for a bit when you're feeling vulnerable, you know, or to explore what that vulnerability means for you so that you can come out wiser because of it. All of these things are happening for reasons, and we will not know all of the reasons this month, that's a guarantee, but you can definitely ask yourself for guidance during the month, and other people, but yourself, please include your higher self in that, to find out, you know, when it is right to go off a little bit into the shore, to go into your cave a bit, to do whatever it is, to actually have some processing, quieter, chilled out time, and when to get in that river and just go with the flow and shut some of those doors and open the others. So she asked, would you like to write down, or can you name now as we're doing this, what are your basic ingredients for you to flourish? What are your ingredients? What do you need for you to flourish? Your own ingredients for your own desires and your own evolution. What is it that you need around you for your own desires and your own evolution? She said, get clear. Ask your higher self to assist in the answer for that, but get really clear. I'd love to hear from you. Comments below this to just have a little natter about what is coming up for you. What's rising in you when you ask yourself that question? What are your basic ingredients for what you need to flourish, what you need, well, she actually said, for your own desires, your own evolution. What are your ingredients that you need around you, within you, externally that you need to love. To be loved, to feel loved, to know that you're loved. What are the essential ingredients for that? I think Guy's been really clever this month by going through this story with us, because it's like, can you imagine the world if everyone is clear about what their needs are to thrive, to be loved, to be more of service to self and others, to be inclusive, to be intrigued by other people's soul purpose, to find room in our hearts for others' desires, to get excited for other people who are getting excited about what they're here to do. Because that's what's happening. That's what I'm seeing. That's what's happening within me, within us, within our soul family. It's happening. So therefore, we're going to have more of that, because those are the ingredients that we're choosing to put out in the world. And remember, it doesn't take every human being on the planet to make this change, to be this pivotal part of a choice of a thriving humanity in total collaboration and endearment with our planet Earth and our universe. It only takes a few. So, can we count on you? Are you in this? You have a decision to make this month, and that is the big decision. Are you in this? Are you in it for love? And I read this morning, I happened to be scrolling on Facebook for a bit, and I went, right, stop there. And when I stop there, I do that. It's like an open book thing for me sometimes. And I've seen this so many times in the past, but I got a real tingly feeling with it, which means to me that it's important to pay attention with all of me on that day. And when I read it, I thought, oh God, I've got to share this with you today, because I know lots of you have heard this, but I wonder if you want to just take this moment just to practice some of the things that we've talked about now, where you close your eyes, get your feet firmly on the floor so that you're earthed in some way, and just take your focus onto your breath. And maybe listen and let these words of love sort of move around you in a blanket of care. This is a message from the Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers. As you move through these changing times, be easy on yourself and be easy on one another. You are at the beginning of something new. You are learning a new way of being. You will find that you are working less in the yang modes that you are used to. You will stop working so hard at getting from point A to point B the way you have in the past, but instead will spend more time experiencing yourself in the whole and your place in it. Instead of travelling to a goal out there, you will voyage deeper into yourself. Your mother's grandmother knew how to do this. Your ancestors from long ago knew how to do this. They knew the power of the feminine principle. And because you carry their DNA in your body, this wisdom and this way of being is within you. Call on it. Call it up. Invite your ancestors in. As the yang-based habits and the decaying institutions on our planet begin to crumble, look up. A breeze is stirring. Feel the sun on your wings. So let that blanket of care soothe you in these new times for humanity. We are in new times, and therefore we're sometimes, you know, going to fall down like toddlers do, but they all get back up again and try again. Okay, my loves, lots of love. I'm here, as you know, for the month, so let me know if you need any help or you've got any comments that you want to come back to me on. That would be lovely. Lots of love, everybody. Bye for now.